Geordies, welcome to episode 2 of Finding Jacob Murphy's Replacement. If you haven't already, go and check out episode 1 because we're looking at players based in the Premier League. But in this episode, we're going to be looking at players based in France. So we are going off to Ligue. And there's 3 right wingers that I want to talk about, and they all offer different things, different profiles, different styles of play. So it's going to be a fascinating episode. As always, we're going to break them down individually and then compare them statistically to each other. But first up, we're going to Monaco. Paul Mitchell's old stomping ground. We all know he's got connections there, he's got links there, and he knows about this player, and that's Maghnes Akliouche. And then secondly, we're going to be looking at Dilane Bakwa of Strasbourg, pretty much owned by Chelsea Football Club. And then thirdly, we're going to be looking at somebody who was very close to joining Fulham last summer, and that's Lyon's Ernest Nuamah. But first up, I want to look at Ernest Nuamah, somebody who burst on the scene before he got his move to Lyon, where he won Young Player of the Season in the Danish League. He's followed in the same footsteps as Kamaldeen Sulemana, who's currently at Southampton, and Mohamed Kudus, who's currently at West Ham. He started out at the Right to Dream Academy before going to Nordsjælland, and that's where he's made his move into Ligue. So he's 21 years old. He was born in 2003. He's made 21 Ligue appearances this season, scoring 3 goals, providing 1 assist. He's missed 35 days, 4 games through injury, and his market value is around 15 million. So what type of winger is he? Well, he's an explosive, dynamic winger who's known for his pace and acceleration. He's got electric speed. He's super agile and can beat multiple opponents at one with a body feint and an injection of pace. He's dynamic presence on central areas, wide areas, which make him lethal on the break. He's more of a touchline winger. He's very much like a Moussa Diaby type winger, where he's capable of just putting on the back burners and just breezing past opponents. So you really get the best out of him in transition moments where there's space to really put the back burners on and fly past opponents. He's got electric speed. He's got a nice stocky frame, which helps him hold off defenders when he's running at top speed. And he reacts well in transition moments. So his movement's not intelligent movement where he finds a little pocket of space, receives a ball on the half turn. His movement's all about being exploiting space in behind, using the width to his advantage. So you'll often see him hugging the touchline, waiting for a through ball in between the fullback and the centre back for him to latch on. Now that's where he really thrives. So he's big in transition moments, and he's got the ability to eliminate players in one-on-one situations. The qualities in Ernest Nuamah, it's all about speed and explosiveness. So when he does receive the ball, it's all about trying to beat his man, isolate them in one-on-one opponents. He's not the type of player that will receive and try and link up with players and play around the deep block. He wants to get at his opponent, and he excels in one-on-one situations. Now he's in the same mold of a Noni He wants to hit the byline, looking for cutbacks or coming in on his left foot where he can cross the ball or look for shooting opportunities. He's got those sorts of instincts in him. But when it comes to finishes, Nuamah's actually shown real good signs of potential, very, very good execution in his finishes. Sometimes it does let him down and he misses a target or he shoots from poor shot locations, but he does have the qualities where he can bend it around the goalkeeper with his beautiful left foot. He's a powerful strike, he's a stocky lad, and he's got a powerful running style, and that shows when he distributes a ball as well. So he's a fearless and progressive dribbler, which allows his team to get into dangerous positions. Now, everything with Nuamah goes at 100 miles an hour. He's always looking to receive the ball and just drive and explode away. He's got a good ability to modulate his speed and manipulate opponents in one-on-one situations, so he feels comfortable in taking controls in individual isolated duels. But there is still some weaknesses with him. He's still incredibly raw and lacks experience. Defensively, there's room for growth. Yes, he works hard out of possession in terms of positioning and angling and when to challenge. He gets that wrong at times, and he looks to carry the ball too often. His decision making needs a lot of refinement. Sometimes there's an opportunity to play ball through or a killer pass, but he'll always look to inject and turn the other way, or he's got a terrific change of pace and he uses that too often. So the moment he has to create an opportunity, sometimes he just misses that opportunity. So his composure and everything needs to be done at 100 miles an hour, like I said. Sometimes he just needs a little bit more composure to his game in order to see that pass and execute the pass. So how does he compare to Jacob Murphy? Well, on the screen there, and it's pretty much exactly what I've been saying. In terms of carries, dribbles, attacking actions, he's all at it. He's 100%. He's all involved in those attacking actions and dribbling off the cuff. He's excellent in manipulating players, dropping his shoulder, and you can clearly see that. Where he does lack is those creative instincts where if it doesn't come instinctively off the dribble, he hasn't got that way to pass for a killer ball or for a key pass. And those are the areas that he would need to improve on. But again, they come with experience. One thing I will say is, like I mentioned on the other episode, when the player's in possession, it's the player out of possession that dictates where the pass goes. So when he's playing with higher caliber players, like an Alexander Isak, like a Bruno Guimaraes, like a Anthony Gordon, he will have better options to find that pass. But again, in terms of output and creativity, that is something that would have to be coached into him. But one thing I will say, and give him the benefit of the doubt on, in comparison this season and last season, his key passes, his creative metrics have all improved. So it looks like he is starting to improve on those weaknesses. And then we'll move on to option 2, Dilane Bakwa, who's 22 years old. He was born in 2002. He has 3 goals, 7 assists in 22 Ligue 1 games. He's missed 24 days, 4 games through injury, and his market value is around 18 million. He's currently at Strasbourg, who we all know have a partnership with Chelsea at the moment because they're both owned by Blue Core. So what are his strengths? Well, he's versatile. He can play centrally, he can play on the right, he can play on the left. He prefers playing on the right because he's naturally left-footed, so he can cut in on his left foot. Strasbourg change their formation quite often. They rotate between the back 4 and the back 3. And Bakwa's been used as a right winger, but also right wing back. So he's got that versatility in him, but he's known for his dribbling skills, his quick footwork, and his direct running style. He's constantly willing to drive at opponents with the ball at his feet and take on players, creating imbalances in the opposition's shape. He comes with flair, close control, acceleration, agility, all the elements that you want in a right winger, which make him menacing in attacking transitions, but also counter-attacks. Bakwa excels in his ball carrying and his ability to enter and get his team into dangerous situations. His pacing behind also makes him a perfect option for counter-attacking and quick transitions. He's fast, he's direct with the ball at his feet, and he's got this nice ability where he can reach top speed very, very quickly, but also slow his speed down and manipulate opponents. He often tends to cut inside from the right and through the half spaces where he can shoot or pick out a pass to a teammate. Yeah, he's different to the other two because Ernest Nuamah is more about dribbling inside the box. Akliouche is more about creativity and breaking down low box through passing, whereas Bakwa's more about crossing the ball. He's averaging 5.25 crosses per 90, which is the most out of all under 22 players in Ligue, which is actually 5th out of every single player in Ligue. So Bakwa comes as more of a creator than a goal scorer. If I was to liken Bakwa to any player, he's a little bit more like Jacob Murphy than the other two. He's a little bit more like Bryan Mbeumo without that finishing cutting edge. The difference in styles between Bakwa's dribbling and Ernest Nuamah's dribbling is Bakwa's a lot more finesse. He's got a lot more composure and every touch has got purpose, whereas Nuamah is more about explosivity and trying to just beat opponents by moving the ball past them and exploding past them. Bakwa's a little bit more technical. He's got a wonderful left foot where he's able to open up defenses, but he's also got the guile and the creativity in his dribbling where he can manipulate players in tight areas. He's got the comfortability of coming inside and operating in the inside channels as well as hugging the touchline. So pretty much Eddie Howe can give him different extra instructions depending on the game and who we're facing. So he's got that versatility in him. He does come with weaknesses. I'm not saying he's a finished article because no player this age is the finished article. His incisive passing can do with a bit more consistency. Sometimes he gets the weight of the pass wrong and it kicks it out of play, or it's too short where the runner has to backtrack and receive it. But he also needs more consistency in his dribbling ability. He's a proactive dribbler, so he wants to get at his fullback, but he just needs a little bit more consistency. His decision making and his refinement in his end product. Like I mentioned, he's more of a goal creator than a goal scorer. Sometimes it's best to have a goal and he just lacks that decision making in the final third. But he needs to learn how to get into more dangerous and better shot locations, and then his goal output would improve. So how does he compare to Jacob Murphy? Well, as you can see, the key one, the assists, is very, very similar. You've got to think Jacob Murphy's currently playing with the best striker in the world, whereas Bakwa's not, and he's still up there with assists with him. Key passes, he's a little bit better than Jacob Murphy, and Jacob Murphy's actually got good vision, so Bakwa's just as good in terms of vision. attacking actions, carries, dribbles. He all excels in those areas. One area where he's not excelling is non-penalty goals. So that is something I have touched upon that he would need to improve. And I think if he just got into better shot locations, because he's got the technical ability to find the back of the net, if he just gets himself into better positions, have a bit more composure and intelligence in his positional awareness, then his goal output would improve, in my opinion. And then we'll move on to our third and final candidate. I feel like Cilla Black off Blind Date, and that is Maghnes Akliouche. What I'll say about this boy is aesthetically pleasing. He's the type of footballer that reminds you exactly why you fell in love with football. Technically excellent. He's elegant. He's got guile. He's got an excellent speed of thought. He's wonderful technically. He's just a glorious footballer to watch. He was born in 2002, which makes him 23 at the moment. He has 4 goals, 6 assists, and 24 Ligue games this season. He's missed 11 days, 2 games through injury, so availability is the best ability, and his market value is around 40 million. Now, Paul Mitchell will know this player very, very well. One thing I will say, he offers great versatility. He's currently operated most on the right wing for Monaco, but he's played a hell of a lot of games as an attack midfielder. And actually, when he was coming through the youth ranks, when he was playing for France youth teams, he was always used as an attack midfielder. So it's just since he's come into senior football that he's predominantly been playing as a right winger. He excels in tight spaces. He might not have the injection of pace like Bakwa or Ernest Nuamah, but his agility enables him to ride challenges so cleverly and easily. He's a proficient dribbler. He merges technical close control with agility, which is why he's averaging 2 successful dribbles per 90. He's got balance, excellent coordination, and his dribbling step count is absolutely incredible. He likes to drift inside and make the most of his vision. He's got great vision and creativity. So by drifting inside, he opens up different passing lanes, and this allows him to be dangerous. So he really causes problems with movement. I often say 2 things kill in football: pace and movement. If you don't have the pace, make sure you've got the movement. If you don't have the movement, make sure you've got the pace. And we've seen that with Ernest Nuamah, who's got the pace, might not have that spatial awareness, whereas Akliouche has got that spatial awareness, but might not have that explosive pace. But despite looking lightweight, because when you look at him, he's got a slight frame, he's quite tall, but he rides challenges very, very well. He's got deceiving physicality to him. For what he lacks in explosive pace, he makes up with intelligence. So what I'm trying to say is, in tight areas, he outsmarts you rather than outpacing you. Akliouche is a creative genius. His vision, weight of pass is really impressive. He's capable of seeing things that many other wouldn't. So he's very good at breaking down low blocks, or just having great ingenuity in the final third. His chance creation, creativity is all top quality, and he's an excellent defensively as well. Actually, I would say all 3 contribute defensively, but they do need improvements. So where he differs from the other 2, when he gets on the ball, it's a lot more measured. He's got a lot more elegance. It's a lot more poised. Every touch is measured and with purpose, where the other 2 are just wanting to beat the man consistently. He hasn't got that explosive pace, and that's why if I was to worry about one thing about him coming into the Premier League, it's having that explosive pace, because I think you do need an injection of pace to play in the Premier League. But we've seen it before when players are really clever, they can just have that guile about them where they make the way around the final third. And I think that's what Akliouche would bring. So his weaknesses: explosive movement, a change of pace to create separation, and also his speed over longer distances. He does lack long distance passing and shooting, so his goal efficiency would need to improve. And finally, he's heavily reliant on his left foot. It's a glorious left foot. He's got technical ability that belies his age. But when it comes to crucial moments, let's say he opens up an angle on his right foot, he'll sometimes try and curve the ball with the outside of his left foot, when in reality, if you use your right foot, you might make that pass. So just little things like that, having a little bit more confidence in his right foot will just elevate his creativity to another dimension. But one thing I will say about Akliouche, he's a very capable winger, right? He gets into dangerous positions. He's so intelligent with his movement. He's got a high football IQ to play as a winger. But I actually think because of his attributes and his profiles, he might actually be better suited to a number 10 position. So this is how Akliouche compares to Jacob Murphy. And as you can see, Akliouche's key passes are top of the charts. He excels in his key passes, breaking down low blocks and just disruption the opposition structure. So as you can see, his expected assists is higher than what Jacob Murphy's is, but Jacob Murphy's got more assists. That's just because he's playing with a higher caliber of striker, whereas Akliouche actually creates the higher quality of chances. He just doesn't have the striker to put them away. So if Akliouche was playing with a striker like Alexander Isak, who can be proficient and consistent with his goal scoring, his assist output would be higher because he's creating a higher and a better quality of chances. So when we're finding Jacob Murphy's replacement, we need somebody that can provide for Alexander Isak, somebody that can continue giving him service, and I actually think Akliouche has got the elements to do so. And as you can see, he's an excellent ball carrier. He doesn't mind dropping deep, receiving the ball, and then transitioning into the final third. He actually ranks highly for carries into the final third, and that's what he gives you. He gives you that quality and that awareness to progress the team into another third of the pitch. So this is how they're comparing. This is how I describe them in the dribbling. You get your technical dribblers or you get your flamboyant dribblers. Ernest Nuamah and Bakwa are more like your flamboyant dribblers, whereas Akliouche is more like your technical dribblers. But I've put them in categories, green being the highest, red being the lowest. So when it comes to XG and XA, which is expected goals and expected assists, Maghnes Akliouche ranks highest above everybody, whereas Ernest Nuamah ranks the lowest. And I mentioned Ernest Nuamah lacking that composure and his creativity, and that shows in the numbers. When it comes to assists, Jacob Murphy ranks highest, and that's probably because he's playing with a striker like Alexander Isak, whereas the others don't have that quality. But look at Bakwa. Bakwa ranks really highly in terms of assists. Attacking actions, you've got Bakwa, that's rising above everybody, but you've got Akliouche, who's not as good as the others in putting his team in attacking situations. Shot creating actions, you've got Akliouche above everybody, but you've actually got Jacob Murphy being the lowest, which shows that Jacob Murphy's not actually creating as many shot actions as the others, but he's actually got more assists because he's got a higher caliber of striker to finish them off. When it comes to expected assists, you've got Akliouche, who's higher than everybody, and I mentioned his creativity, his vision, his execution. It's just majestic. Key passes, Bakwa ranks in front of everybody, so he's got that vision to break down low blocks. So this is how they compare, and it's interesting how you get different profiles of wingers, strikers, and what they like to do, and that's a breakdown of a few different profiles. So I want to hear from you guys, which profile would you prefer in the Newcastle United squad? Would you look for something different like an Akliouche who can come inside and operate in those central areas as well as having those visions from wide areas? Or would you look for a dynamic, explosive winger like an Ernest Nuamah? Let us know in the comments below, but if you want anybody to include in tomorrow's episode, also drop us a comment in below. But before you leave this, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and until next time, away the lads.